And then we want to live in the present. This is a big one, y'all. Live in the present. And it's a hard thing. Again, I have been in the depression world. I've seen what it's very dark. It is not fun. When you learn how to live in the present, what you're going to do is you're going to bloom where you are planted. You may not be where you want to be, but got to make the most of it, right? Make the most of your current situation. Whatever that situation is, if it's out of your control, make the most of it anyway. You heard of take that lemon and make some lemonade, right? You just look for, okay, Lord, how can I make the most of this situation? It's not a good situation, but what can I do to make the most of it, to make the best out of it? And do what it is, what's in your power to do. Again, that's what I said. Do what you can do. I'll give you an example. Before we go to the next slide, I'll give you an example really quickly. During COVID, I have to go back to this because everybody handled the shutdown different ways, right? There were those who were walking around telling people, I can't wait till I can do this, to do that, to do the other, right? And what they did was they basically tried to put a pause on life because they couldn't do all the things they were used to doing. So it's like, ain't nothing I can do till I can go do it again, whatever those things were. Well, on the other hand, I was not actually in that camp. I was in the camp, okay, we can't go out to do stuff. So what can we do? Again, making the most of your situation. What can we do? You know, when we get caught up in life, y'all know how busy we get, and we say, well, if I had time. Y'all know that phrase we do. If I had time, what? Somebody tell me something. If I had time, what would you be doing? I'm going to read a book. I'm going to sleep. Okay. Anything else? Exercise more. Okay. So you see what I'm saying? And then when we had all the time in the world, we didn't even think nothing about that, right? We're too busy complaining, right? We're complaining about what we can't do instead of looking at what we can do. And so again, that's a mindset, and it's something that we control. That's something we can control, how we look at that thing. And so, like I said, COVID was a perfect example. There were a lot of people that didn't do anything until it was time to go again. And there were others that went and got degrees. Y'all think I'm lying? There were people that went to school, you know what I'm saying, on the computer, got a new job. That's what I'm telling y'all. They went and started a YouTube channel doing some kind of ministry, all kinds of, am I telling the truth? I know some of y'all know somebody that did something. And I'm just going to survey the crowd real quick. I'm going to repeat what y'all say for the sake of time. Anybody can call out something somebody did with their time when they couldn't do everything else.
My husband and I, we went online and had Bible study. We had a Bible study group.
Online Bible study group.
And then the following year, I started the Life More Abundantly podcast.
The podcast on Facebook.
I did 3 seasons.
Right, exactly. Anybody else?
2021 to 2022.
That's right. Anybody else? I taught children how to read online. We were on Zoom. And I was teaching kids how to read online when they couldn't go to school. Yeah. Anybody else know of anybody? It doesn't have to be you. Just something you know somebody did during the pandemic time. Went back to school. That's what I'm saying. Lost weight. Somebody said they lost weight. Okay. So you would just continue to work on your school. So some people have completely turned their entire lives around the direction that their life was going. They made the most out of that situation with COVID. And they changed things in their lives. So once again, it's what we do with it. It's what we do with it, the situation that we have. Okay. Now, my little example back in the day, my husband and I back in the day were trying to have a baby, and when I had an early miscarriage, I was down about it. Couldn't get pregnant for the next 2.5 years. And it was frustrating because you're seeing everybody else with their families, and I did not have my one child I got now. I had no child at the time. But during that time, I worked on my health and my weight loss needs. And I lost like 15 pounds. Then next thing you know, I got pregnant. So then there's that. So once again, I couldn't do anything about this part. So I worked on what I could do. That's another example. We don't want to dwell on the past. And because y'all know the past can be depressing. It can be depressing. So whatever went on in the past, don't just keep rehashing it like you want to go back and relive all the negative things that you was going through. Don't torture yourself like that. Don't do it. Don't do it. And the other thing about the past, even if it was something good, don't get stuck back there either. Right? Because it keeps you from moving forward today. Now you're just talking about what you did do back in yesteryear. And you didn't let go of anything else that could come down the road that the Lord wants you to prepare for now. Okay? So don't dwell in the past. Also, don't focus on the future. Now, we do plan and prepare for the future, yes. But don't just focus on the future like when I get here, when I get that. Well, as long as you don't have it, now you're depressed and sad and upset all the time. But yeah, plan for it, prepare for it, but don't focus on the future. We must live in the present because God is the I am. I am. I always say he's the I am, not the I was and I will be. So we got to stay in the present with God, the I am, and take one day at a time and remember that it could be worse. Whatever situation we're in, it may not be good, but if we think about it, it could be worse, okay?